Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly brought to you by Haltech and Enthusiast Motor Insurance. This week, we are continuing with the Monza. Believe it or not, I say that every week, but fear not, friends. This is the last week you'll see the Monza for a little bit, because literally tomorrow in real world time, I'm going to Japan to do the Go Main End Challenge with Iron Chef and a whole bunch of other people. And we are going to be doing some content based around that journey. Probably the next 4 weeks or so after you see this episode is all going to be Japan trip stuff. Fear not, you can have a break from the Monza just like me. But this week is a bit of loose ends and tying up stuff, primarily so I can actually order things while I'm away. So this week we're going to be looking at tail shaft measurement. So hopefully I'm actually going to go to the tail shaft manufacturer on the way to the airport tomorrow to order a tail shaft. I'm also going to be pulling the rear diff out today so we can take that to Frankie Gearbox Express. Also on the way to the airport, and that means I can drop the diff to him, because what we're going to do is swap the gear set from the open diff that I had from the other donor car into the diff housing that we have for this car, because this one has an LSD. So basically going to build 1 out of 2 and get a 3-4-5 diff ratio with a factory LSD. And by all accounts, the factory LSD is a really good unit, and I believe it's actually made by Quaife. So yeah, good unit to be able to put power through, not these old janky style cone LSDs that you do a couple of burnouts with and they're an open diff again. So yeah, that's going to be really good. And getting the tail shaft dialed in will mean that we can move forward with other things like the exhaust. And I also need to pick up our rear sway bar so we can do a test fit, because I do have an aftermarket rear sway bar that Grip Tech Industries have made for us. So yeah, hopefully my trip around on the day, literally the day I land, I'm going to be going to Race Winning Brands to pick up our pistons and rods. I'm going to be going to Grip Tech to pick up our rear sway bar. I'm going to be going out to JC Body Kits to pick up the front and rear bars for the Monza. I'm going to be hopefully going to Who Propeller Shaft Services to pick the drive shaft back up. And Gearbox Express on the way home to pick the diff up. So it's going to be a full day of picking up stuff. I may or may not film it, because I'm literally going to be going from the airport, landing at 9:30 in the morning, doing a around Sydney trip. I've just seen the safety glasses that I've been missing for a while sitting there behind Gian, so great success. It's going to be a little bit of a different episode because there's going to be lots of little jobs. I have also got a new thermostat housing, which I think will suit us better. So that will be another thing we may or may not look at today, with things like the heating, plumbing. Still got to work that out a bit. We have got a multi-input thermostat housing now, which I believe is from a VK era Commodore. So a pre-EFI car, but because we have the ITBs, we now need a pre-EFI style thermostat housing. So still working all that out. I have got a different upper radiator hose now, which I believe is going to work better as well. So all sorts of things to come. Let's get into it. So it's going to do those ones, something like that.
That was great.
The inlet manifold is got metric threads for the thermostat housing,
Yeah.
which is fine, but the problem is the thermostat housing I've got has much larger bolt holes.
Does that mean that it runs the risk of sitting slightly askew?
Oh no, I'll be able to line it up fine enough. That's all right, it gives us an idea anyway. So that's got that sorted. The other thing we need to look at is how to plumb the heater, because we've actually got more outlets than we need on the thermostat housing. So this is a twin style. It was the only one I could find that kind of was going to fit where we wanted. The single outlet type that I got pointed directly at the e-throttle motor, which there was no way to get, there was no way to even bolt it on, let alone get a heater hose onto it. So this latest style Commodore, I think Commodore and Tirana is the same. So hopefully that will give us some options to be able to plumb that up. I think we're going to have to modify and remove one of the 2 spouts. That will then mean we can run the heater hose neater up along this kind of area here, and then we can use our port in the lower half of the manifold on our water pump to inlet manifold return. So I'll get some more hoses and we'll look at that. The other option is to just bung that off. That might end up being a better option. Yeah, that looks like that's going to work pretty good. And then I've got 2 of these, which I believe are the same part number. 1687, yep. So both of these are just hoses.
Generic
Well, they're designed for this job, but they've moulded a bend on one end. That's a rhyme. So this is just gonna shrunk in here. I will admit it would have been nice to have a bit more length on that, because I'm basically just going to run both of these. I'm not actually going to cut these today either, but I wonder if I'm actually better off using one of these with the bent end on the firewall and the straight end on the engine.
One way to find out.
Yeah, because I'm thinking we go kind of like this. It's not super neat, like I don't, unless, can I run it? Probably not now. Unless I can run it down the same way that I ran the fuel line and run it under the manifold like that. It's going to be a bit of visiting of this, I think.
It'd be quite tight in around that space,
I know.
obviously. When you say bung this off, why? What's that
water
meant to be doing?
Well, on the carby engine, there's just a straight fitting in there, and that goes from there to there.
Okay. But by routing it like this, it's still going where it needs to go, obviously. It's just taking a different path slightly.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Unless we just delete this whole fitting off the thermostat housing.
Is that what you were talking about before?
Yeah. The other option is we could bin this whole thing and just go both of these like that. Don't really know what the vibe is, if that's possible or not. Cooling system TBA, but we have a lot more usable parts at least that are going to give me options. I really don't love the look of the whole heater hose thing, eh? That being said, once everything's all one colour and the right colour, because the whole engine's going to be black, the inlet manifold's going to be black, the throttles are going to stay polished or bright, the fuel rails are going to stay bright. So there are going to be a few highlight pieces on it, but most of it will be quite dark. So now currently everything looks silver. All these hoses stand out heaps, but by the time we change a few things around, I think that'll change the look of it a bit. So I'm not super stressed about that. And in saying that too, all the aircon lines are going to be black rubber as well. So not major deals. So more things to ponder on. 10 minutes in and we're already changing directions. I did put rubber grommets in here too.
Oh, nice.
I know we didn't show it the other day, but
you said you were going to.
Yeah, I put them in because I wanted to get a vibe.
Yeah, that's great.
They fit pretty good. I very unanimously copped hate on the internet.
What?
For running the fuel lines that way.
I don't get it. What do you mean running the fuel lines that way?
Well, everyone suggested we should have run the fuel lines in the back of the manifold, but the reason I didn't do that is because I didn't want to run lines past the booster because I knew we were going to be moving that. And then someone suggested running the fuel line up the firewall, but the issue is that puts it quite close to the exhaust manifold. So the way Opal designed it and actually ran them closer to the sill and through the inner guard actually gets the fuel lines much further away from any heat source, so I quite like it. Now the fun stuff, we get to pull the tail shaft out. I'm actually quite surprised how small this tail shaft is, and I think it's actually the stock Monza shaft, most likely just been modified at that end for the Turbo 700, so the tube itself is really, really small actually. I wonder how big it is, let's measure it. It is 2 inch. Which is very small for a tail shaft. The one thing I will mention is because the tail shaft is two-piece, you can get away with using a lot smaller tube. But that being said, we will get as big of a tube in that we can fit. I do have the tail shaft that came with my manual conversion, so I want to actually just at least have a look at that and see if it's even possible to use that. I don't think it will be though. I think we will have to make a shaft. So first thing is to take the bolts out of the rear and then we can pull the shaft out. Because this is IRS2, the shaft runs through the cross member, which is very different to a Commodore, and because it has to go so far into the cross member, I actually need to run a flange on the gearbox as well. So fortunately the Turbo 700 flange actually goes straight into the T56, which makes building this shaft way easier. So great success.
So it's not like you're going to a one piece or anything?
No, we'll stay a two-piece on this one, I think.
Yeah. I'm not talking swimwear either.
Oh, you would not want to see me in a two-piece, my friend. Not enough fabric.
You wouldn't rock a mankini either?
Oh, no. That's more a you thing. You have a more of an athletic build than I do.
I don't think I have enough hair for the mankini.
Don't be a dickhead. That's why you're being a dickhead. No, it's not. That's why you're being a dickhead. Tail shaft.
So is that 2.5 inch looking?
Most likely, yeah. Everything looks like good on the length front.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if we can do some swappies. It is shorter here. Because the VL that this came from, yes, it is a T56 manual conversion shaft, but VLs are obviously a solid rear end. This is a Opel derived IRS, so there's every chance, there was always going to be every chance that the length from the middle of the center bearing to the flange was going to be different between the Commodore one and the Opel one. It's not really a massive deal breaker. I wonder if we can use the end flanges again on both ends of it, and then they just make a new bit in between. That's also interesting, actually. So if you look at the centered bearing carrier, on the Monza, it's offset to the left, but on the Commodore, it's offset to the right. I wonder if there's any reason for that. And above all, we've got to get rid of that stupid rubber Guibo thing. That's not something that I want to be part of.
Just for safety reasons?
They're just not that strong typically. Like normally that's where you start to see issues.
Yeah.
Like the CV in the middle is a much more robust design. This is probably still underrated for what I want, but it would be much better than this thing. So yeah, I guess it's just going to be a case of measure it and get a vibe. But if we can get a length, so that's where I want that.
Is that you just selecting how far you want it to?
Yeah, because if you have a look at this yoke,
yeah,
see, you can see where it's been running to the point where it hasn't.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put this corroded section into the seal. But the other thing is I also want a bit of compression so that I can easily put the shaft on. Whereas if we measure that, there's no expansion. So if the tail shaft was to heat up, admittedly it's not going to grow a lot. But if we bottom that out and then make the shaft to suit that length, it's going to be extremely hard to fit it. And if we do have any thermal expansion, there could be things underbind. We might have pinion bearing damage, might have extension housing bearing damage. So I just want to give it a bit of length so that we've got ease of fitment and also, yeah, no chance of expanding and causing damage.
Nice.
Do you want to hold the tape for me?
Yes. Just hold it hard up against here.
Yeah, mate. 1287. So we may as well drop the oil out of the diff. Then Frank won't get cranky. Just sending it. Is it going to come out? Yep. Oh, that's nice looking oil.
You doing that just to loosen everything up?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the multi-spray. So I just want to make sure that we've got the best chance of pulling the bolts out easily. And because I can't get to the front side of the threads because the bolt's bottomed out, the threads actually protrude through the flange. So if there's going to be any corrosion, normally that's where it is. Fortunately, because this is from a dry climate country, we shouldn't really have any corrosion, but it's still something you need to keep in mind. A few moments later. Huh.
What? That's weird. It's the first one. It's early days.
Yeah, true. Don't get too carried away. There's plenty more to come. And no contamination will get in there. And being that it's on go jacks, they're not even going to spin, so that's a winner.
That's not to hold that end together, is it?
No, not really. Hopefully
Cool.
not. Just to keep it sealed.
Yeah, that's pretty clever. I thought it was odd that you cracked out some gloves.
He did look confused. Couldn't possibly be putting those on his hands. Kind of want to just try it with the rattle gun, but I know I'm just going to round the bolts out.
Right.
So I'm just got to just stick to the plan. Still plenty of oil in that. It's not in a hurry to get out.
You don't think undoing the filler plug is going to help with the flow of it all? Or?
Shh.
Cool.
It's below the
Yeah.
high tide line now, so I wouldn't have thought so, but who really knows? We're going to undo the remount that's under here because it's going to drop the diff down anyway. So hopefully by doing that, it means it'll drain quicker. And then while it's draining, I can look at undoing other bolts and stuff anyway. That's all the bolts. You don't want it? Oh. I was going to give it to you. Here's its brother. South African rocks. Shit, I got a lot of stuff to pick up when I come back. I need to make a list. Well, that pretty much wraps up another episode of the Monza. It was a little bit of a hodgepodge today, but the diff is out, the tail shaft is out. We've got a tail shaft length. So tomorrow on the way to the airport when I go to Japan, I'll drop the tail shaft and the diff off at their respective workshops. And I am going to Japan to do the Go Man and Challenge. So a lot of you guys probably don't know what that is. Basically, we're driving from Sapporo all the way down to Fukuoka in K cars over about 12 days. So pretty awesome adventure to be part of. Massive thank you to Christian from Iron Chef Imports for inviting me along. And I'm going to be making a ton of content while we're there. And hopefully it'll give you guys a bit of an insight on how Go Man and Challenge works. And maybe you'll consider doing it yourselves. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.